A very good day to everyone. We are from Group 13 and I'm Lee Wei-jun. Let me introduce my group members, Parvan Ana Lalaki Murugesu, Nicole N. Azevedo, and Ng Reja. In this presentation, we will talk about Takezaiku, the global trading environment, the strategies or trends which affect global strategy decision making, ethical considerations of the industry, and recommendations. So, what is Takezaiku? Takezaiku is known as Bippu Takezaiku, which is Bippu bamboo craft made in Bippu city in Japan. Takezaiku is the SO craft of weaving bamboo. Takezaiku is made mainly of Madake bamboo that grows in Oita Prefecture. According to Sakazaki 2022, Takezaiku is famous for the Bippu hot springs. Takezaiku is an innately flexible and robust material into everyday functional objects for the home and at work. Takezaiku has also long been used to create utensils for the tea ceremonies. Now, let's move on to the history of Takezaiku. During 71 to 130 AD, Bippu Takezaiku date back to the 12th Emperor of Japan, Keiko. During Nara period, which is year 710 to 794, a record called Nihon Shoki, which is Chronicles of Japan, stated this. In 1392 to 1573, which is the Muromachi era, Takezaiku is for sale by traveling peddlers. In the years 1600 to 1868, which is Edo era, Bippu hot spring became well known and drew a large number of visitors. Takezaiku was used as a basket to wash rice, keep the cooked rice, and sieve miso. In the year 1903, a training facility was established in Bippu, which is Bippu Technical Apprentice School, and graduated with a large number of fine artists and technicians. In the year 1967, Shosai Ikuno, a weaver, was proclaimed the first living national treasure for bamboo craft. And the last is the year 1979. Takezaiku were designated as Japanese traditional craftwork by the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry until now. That's all for my part. Now, I will pass to Parvan to talk about the global trading environment.
Hi everyone, my name is Parvin and I'll be explaining about the evolution of Takezaiku. In the past, the farmers around Japan would collect bamboo and create elegant woven baskets in the off-season. Certain steps were involved to produce these bamboo crafts. The thin bamboo strands is made by hand as shown in the picture. Then the basket is braided and weaved by overlapping bamboo strands. To enhance the beauty of the craft, some of them are colored using the dye. This traditional method is not only costly but also highly time-consuming. In the current era, bamboo weaving is done using modern processing technology. Here, this process involves selection, cutting, scraping, breaking, opening, splitting, and fine planing. Moreover, using this modern technology is not only efficient, but it also helps in maintaining the quality of the bamboo crafts. And now I'll be talking about the global demand in Japanese bamboo craft. Japanese bamboo art has become a hot sensation in the overseas. Although in Japan, such work are viewed more commonly as a craft or item for practical use. When Japan opened up to the world in the middle of 19th century, a growing number of collectors amassing impressive collections, mainly from Europe and United States, were quick to return home with exotic arts from once reclusive nation. The private galleries of London and Paris were flooded with Japanese woodblock prints, calligraphy, and ceramics. This shows the West has developed a growing taste for the intricate art form, with some pieces selling for tens of thousands of dollars. To illustrate, the picture shown in the screenshot of a website currently selling the Takezaiku basketry for $3,280 US. To this matter, many major companies these days have took the idea of utilizing bamboo into their products. The first example is Kengo Kuma's collaboration with a locally well-known shoe brand ASICS. Esteemed Japanese architecture Kengo Kuma and ASICS have reunited for the second iteration of the popular Meteorite Amu collaboration, boasting a unique upper that draws from traditional Japanese bamboo knitting and a sandy color scheme inspired by Kuma's lifelong love for Sahara Desert. The new style serves as an apt follow-up to the two inaugural Meteorite Amu project from 2019. Next, one of the world's most recognizable FMCG brands, Colgate, has launched their bamboo charcoal toothbrush. The new toothbrush, which is made out of 100% biodegradable, sustainable grown bamboo and packaged in recycled cardboards, is a part of company's sustainable initiative to reduce plastic waste. That's all for my part, and now I'll pass it to Nicole. Thank you.
Thank you, Parvan. Now for my part, I will talk about the major strategic or contextual trends that affect the global decision making. In terms of labor, firstly is that work can be uncertain. The business revenue is unpredictable as the amount of work offered to workers as the bamboo baskets business tend to be more irregular. Walls 2022. Product quality is determined by the workers' abilities. Sun and Liu 2022. As a result, sustainability concerns in bamboo basketry are concentrated in functional crafts with two major issues. The first is diminishing labor force. Workers must finish a term of training before they can produce products of standard quality. Workers are obligated to work full-time, which is unappealing to young people. Current practitioners are primarily from traditional families, and attracting enough personnel and qualified outsourcers to boost production is tough. The second issue is that the products have little added value. Bamboo basketry has seen few adaptive changes to fulfill modern society's needs, whether for functional purposes or for aesthetic. Next is the absence of professional designers. Because of three factors, the bamboo craft developments are unlikely to offer enough long-term prospects for the industry. For starters, the number of such work produced is relatively low, and the majority of them demand skilled masters. A master's output is typically limited to a single work every few years. Second, distribution scope is extremely limited, with gifts and collectibles being most likely designated. Third, the craft's difficulty and high time investment make it unappealing as a full-time career. Cited from Sun and Liu 2022. Which brings us to the third point. The entire process of bamboo weaving is precise and complicated, which means bamboo weaving is time-consuming and inefficient in terms of modern production, and for example, it takes at least 5 hours to complete a bamboo weaving product. Furthermore, according to local weavers, traditional bamboo weaving items have been profitable and in high demand in the market for several decades. Buying good bamboo material can also raise costs for bamboo weaving. It was difficult to feed one family if it's the only source of income was weaving bamboo items. As a result, relatively few young people were interested in learning the craft of bamboo weaving or pursuing it as a career, cited from Low et al. 2020. And because of the lack of bamboo craftsmen, due to the nature of modern living, the Kyoto bamboo industry has declined due to a lack of bamboo craftsmen. However, there are still some craftsmen, both young and old, working to keep the heritage alive, whether it's through the use of traditional techniques to make accessories or even fireproof bamboo to attract apprentices and extend the market, cited from Japan Deluxe Tour 2020. For the next slide, in terms of competitors, materials are easily to be substituted. Brainly 2019. The main cause of the reduction in bamboo is that the low-cost plastic has substituted and become a part of our daily lives in recent years. To obtain bamboo strips, first bamboo must be produced, which takes time. As a result, bamboo items have been mostly substituted by cheap or low-cost plastics. Nowadays, new bamboo crafts are being created by combining other materials with traditional processes. Besides that, in this current time, bamboo weaving baskets are found easily on the internet. Users are able to find these products on the internet and e-commerce platforms such as on Shopee and Lazada. Consumers do not have to travel all the way to Japan to buy these products, as there are many similar bamboo baskets online. To add on, there are also many other varieties of bamboo products online that consumers are able to look through and purchase, such as furniture, mats, curtains, and many more. Lastly, in terms of market, there are traditional bamboo crafts combined with modern designs. Firstly is the Kosuga Bamboo brand. Kosuga Bamboo is a brand of Kyoto, which is a typical representative. It is also the biggest of the 5 old Kyoto of Beijing's traditional decoration brand. He has made more than 100 years of bamboo products and won many international awards, including the award at the World Expo in 1904 and 1911. On one hand, it is inheriting traditional ancient technology. Most of the bamboo products still use manual weaving, and is equipped with Japan's unique bamboo craft artisan training school. On the other hand, it blends in classical into modern again, gives a new form of bamboo to adapt to modern way of life. In terms of traditional bamboo products such as various kinds of tableware, handbags, wallets, receiving products, and so on. In recent years, they are more committed to develop newer products bamboo, trying to break into the market of young people. Second one is the Tokyo Tribal Collection, which is a space furniture series designed at the invitation of Singapore Industry and Design Company to adapt the contemporary urban living. The tables and chairs, benches, and simple shelf has a small and compact size, which is handmade by craftsmen. Woven bamboo rattan elements is one of the biggest bright spot. The material of natural flexibility makes it very suitable as for a back support, and the structure of the tables and chairs create a sense of humor. It is also a supporter of actual use. The essence of bamboo rattan with idiomatic Japanese elegant tonal is forming a sense of lively, humorous. The whole furniture shows relaxed, happy, and natural life interests, completely free from the traditional sense of bamboo weaving art. Cited from Young et al. 2017. That's all from me. I'll pass it on to Reja. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Reja and I'll be talking about the ethical considerations of the industry. The first consideration will be exploitation of foreign workers. In December 2019, the country's parliament passed laws that allows an estimated 345,000 foreign workers to enter the country, heralding the end of Japan's historic hostility to large-scale immigration. Due to its low birth rate and fast-aging culture, the world's third-largest economy is facing its most severe labor shortfall in decades. Unemployment is at its lower level since the early 1990s, and job availability reached its best level in 44 years last year, with 150 positions available for every 100 persons looking for work. Based on research and interviews with migrant government workers in Japan's state-supported technical internship training program TITP, producing for domestic brands, the report highlights a number of violations, including debt bondage, illegally low wages, verbal abuse, and unsafe working and living conditions, including TITP workers sleeping in the factories where they work. The Labour Inspection Office in Japan discovered that nearly 70% of the businesses that had hired TITP workers were in violation of labour law. Migrant workers are particularly vulnerable to exploitation since they frequently do not understand the language and lack community support or access to legal counsel, and their status has become increasingly more insecure as a result of the pandemic. Workers describe being forced to work 18 hours a day, 7 days a week during peak production periods, earning poverty pay of $200 to $300 per hour, well below the statutory minimum wage of $754, plus overtime. Add to this unfairness, financial bondage, with some workers apparently being charged $6,000 as an enrollment fee for the plan by agencies. The recommendation for the ethical consideration will be implement program like Good Labour Practices GLP program to the handicraft industry. The Good Labour Practices program is a comprehensive fishery industry improvement program that combines the creation of industry labour rules with a supported good labour practices training program. Unacceptable forms of labour such as child labour and forced labour receive special attention. Handicraft industry can implement the same labour practices to avoid exploitation on foreign workers. For the second consideration will be gender discrimination. In Japan, the gender pay gap remains substantial in comparison to the rest of the world. According to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development (OECD), women's wages in Japan are only 77.5% of men, ranking Japan third lowest among 43 nations and regions. In Japan, the income gap between men and women tends to be wider as worker gets older. Full-time men employees in their late 50s earn at least 100,000 yen, more each month than their female counterparts. One reason for the gender wage differences is that women's typical years of employment are shorter than men's. As many women leave their careers to care for their children, because women have less opportunity to advance in their careers, favor women home managerial roles. Deeply ingrained seniority-based hiring practices should be modified to support the advances of female workers. The recommendation for gender discrimination will be enforce tripartite guidelines on fair employment practices (TGFEP). The guidelines state that the company must hire and choose workers based solely on their qualifications such as their skills, experience or capacity to execute the job without prejudice to their age, color, gender, religion, marital status, or commitments to their family or disability. Although not all inclusive, this list concentrates on the more prevalent types of discrimination. Even if a case of workplace discrimination results from characteristics that aren't mentioned as example in the guidelines, TAFEP will investigate it. The last consideration will be sexual harassment. Sexual harassment, or Seikuhara, is the most common kind of discrimination reported to Japan's Equal Employment Office, EEO, among employed women. These figures indicate not only the tough working conditions that women endure, but also a growing legal consciousness among working women in reaction to broader legal and social change. According to the most current government poll on sexual harassment, 1 in every 3 women has experienced such harassment at work, with over 40% haven't been touched against their will or asked sex-related questions. However, less than 40% of them actually filed a complaint, and of those who did, 1 in 10 reported receiving penalties. For the recommendation of sexual harassment, will be provide sexual harassment prevention training to all hired employees and imply strict consequences to those who violated the workplace safety. Employers who have 15 or more employees or 1 or more domestic workers must provide sexual harassment prevention training to all hired employees. Employees must attend annual sexual harassment prevention training. The training will include practical examples of harassment based on gender identity, gender expression, and sexual orientation. For Japan to solve the sexual harassment issue, it is crucial for all the company and factory to educate the staff and imply strict consequences to those who violated the workplace safety. Thank you, and now I'll pass to Wei Jun for the conclusion.
Thank you, Rija. In a nutshell, it can be concluded that Takezaiku has played a substantial role in the Japanese handicraft industry, and thus being said, practicing the Takezaiku tradition is vital in strengthening Japanese culture and identity. Hence, it is also important to use modern technology to increase work efficiency and effectiveness. Moreover, ethical issues should be kept an eye on and improved for better. That's all for our presentation. Now, I would like to show the references that we use in this presentation. That's the end of our presentation. Thank you for spending your time watching this presentation. Have a good day.
All right. If you all would like to open your video cam. Okay. Yes, you have stated that there was a process of this cutting, weaving, the different kinds of patterns that you have for the Takezaiku. Can you sort of explain in more detail the general process, production process?
Okay, so the Bipu Takezaiku is done by arranging the bamboo strips in the crisscross manner, and then it is crafted in a multi-step process that involves soaking the bamboo in a wash that removes the oils from it, and then splitting and cutting the bamboo into delicate strips, and then hand weaving it into its final shape. So basically, they are 8 basic weaving structures. They are the base for some 200 different weaving patterns.
Wow, 200 million. Okay, thank you. Okay, Takezaiku to me seems very pricey, as one of you have, Pavan has mentioned that one example that he was giving, that the price of a basket with leather handle costs about USD 3,280. Why is Takezaiku more expensive than any other bamboo products?
Thank you, Miss. I will answer your question. So the quality of bamboo itself varies widely, and the bamboo used to make this takezaiku is Odake and Madake bamboo, which is grown and harvested locally. Besides, the craft is entirely handmade, and the distinctive range of bamboo weaving technique justifies the high price of takezaiku.
Okay, so more refined. I think can see that their bamboo weaving is more refined than from other countries. So that's probably the reason why they are buying. Okay, just now you all said in 2020, you mentioned there are some 5 countries importing these Takezaiku products from Japan. Why do these countries prefer Takezaiku to other more cheaper global alternatives? Give me about 2 or 3 possible reasons.
Okay, so I will answer your question, Miss. So, because
Yeah.
in Japan, it's a country that is heavily steeped in tradition, and the handicrafts have been proudly passed down from generation to generation. The country is home to more than 236 nationally designated traditional crafts, created using traditional techniques employed by highly skilled craftsmen. And as the process of making a takezaiku basket, it starts with the selection of bamboo. So the ideal bamboo should have long selections, flat joints, and good elasticity. The selected bamboo must also be hydrated naturally before being sliced into fine strips. The thickness and elasticity of the strips greatly affects the quality of the final product. And it is also found that a well-woven bamboo basket can last for over a decade. And usually, when consumers are looking for something that will last long, they tend to look for product that will align the product quality aligning with the price. So consumers will tend to look more into the product value. And as Japan is known for being beautiful and very sophisticated for their crafts, it shows that the product has an established reputation among other cheaper options. So that's all for me.
Okay, which countries are the top 3 competitors for bamboo?
So the top three competitors, the countries, is India, Indonesia, and China.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know that there are other competitors. Oh, okay, just now when we look at the ethical situation, the one who's doing ethics is I think Ruja, whatever. Are you doing ethics of Nico?
Yeah.
Uh, so you have mentioned that the foreign workers were exploited and that Japanese people don't like to be a craftsman. Uh, so, and also partly because of labor shortage, you were saying. I'm more concerned about these foreign workers. They're working like what you have stated, 18 hours per day, 7 days a week, without even a 1 day off. So I thought that was like a bit like what the Japanese call karoshi, overworking. And I thought they are outlawing this, or the Japanese manufacturers don't care and just treating the foreign workers differently from the Japanese employees? Or do you think these workers will be able to work for long periods of time with this kind of what they call stress work, or forced labor, not even 1 day off kind of holiday, not even a single day off in 1 week? Every day working or so somehow you say 18 hours, but is it every day or is it only like I think maybe I miss out the peak hours, peak periods? So
Yeah,
what do you think?
Miss. So yeah, it's the 18 hours per day and 7 days a week is peak hour lah, like peak period for the bamboo industry. So to answer your question, in my opinion, I don't think that those foreign worker will be able to work in this industry, as this
um,
industry will need a lot of energy to do the process, the bamboo weaving. So working for such a long period of time that may cause significant effects such as like stress, or they don't have free time, or they have poor work-life balance and health risks. So, and also employee performance level could also be lowered. Long work hours could lead to tiredness, fatigue, and lack of attentiveness also.
okay, good. You were also mentioning that there were also 2 other ethical considerations, one on gender discrimination and then sexual harassment. I thought Japan is an advanced country, that the government should have some employment act in place for this new millennium. So, isn't there any change in labor law against gender discrimination and sexual harassment in Japan?
Okay, thank you, Miss. So, upon research, the latest law regarding harassment was enacted on 1st of June 2020. That's the latest law. And actually the law, it says that large company in Japan are obliged to ban harassment directed at employees by their superior. So that law is applied to companies with more than 50 employees, and if your company have more than 50 employees, you might put in place measure to prevent both sexual harassment and harassment related to pregnancy, maternity, and childcare leave. So the law says that companies must take steps to punish harasser. However, actually the law is not clear, it's unclear, because the law only states that similar steps should be taken. So, and also the law does not apply to freelancer who are already refused minimum wage, statutory sick pay, maternity leave, and childcare leave. So um, the government actually has threatened to name and shame uncooperative companies, but whether that will prove effective is also unclear. So as a result, Japan still falls short of the Convention on Violence and Harassment in the Workplace.
Okay, because I'm really quite shocked that advanced countries don't have all this what they call good employment or good employment conditions. But anyway, thank you for your research, and it was very interesting. And I think I particularly like the one that you all say that there are now modern designs, and they're trying to add in traditional plus modern designs for the new millennium, and people are buying it. And you were saying just now some of the companies that are selling very modern designs and receiving quite a lot of market demand. That's very good. Thank you. So I think that's all, unless you all have any more questions. Later you all can take a recording from this. I will relabel it.
Okay.
So thank
All right.
Thank you,
you for
Miss.
coming.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Miss.